Today we're going to learn how to set goals that are actually achievable and how to achieve them. I know a lot of people are setting your New Year's resolutions and New Year's goals this time of the year, so I thought this would be a good time to make this video. You guessed it, the notes are extremely extensive, so get your notebooks out, class is in session. We're pulling from some core principles and theories from motivational psychology for today's video. We're going to start off with the concept of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. On one hand, intrinsic motivation means that you're doing something because you find it inherently satisfying, meaningful, or enjoyable, and this is personal drive. This is coming from within, it's internal. Now, extrinsic motivation is when you do something for an external reward or to avoid punishment. Now, I want you to think about the difference in drive and motivation if you were to become an oncologist because you lost a family member, a very close family member, to cancer, compared to if you became a doctor because growing up your parents told you that they would be disappointed if you became anything else. The difference between intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation is, let's say, writing because you're journaling and it's good for your mental health and it helps you relax, compared to writing because you're an author and that is the only thing that pays the bills. Why are you supervising today's video? You need a haircut. In psychology, it's pretty common knowledge that motivation will go much further and drive and ambition is much stronger when the motivation is internal or intrinsic. So whenever you set a goal, we want to make sure that the motivation behind it is intrinsic. For example, if your goal is to make more money in the new year, instead of keeping that goal so surface level and basic, we're going to explore what that goal really means for you. You want to ask yourself what reaching this goal would genuinely mean for you. It doesn't just mean that you would have more money. Maybe it means that you now have financial freedom. Maybe it means that you're now less stressed on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it means you can now get the shoes or the bag that you've been eyeing. In every goal, you can find internal drive, and that's going to make it all the more achievable. You just need to look for it. Now that we know how to find internal or intrinsic motivation in our goals that we want to set, we are going to learn how to set our goals the correct way. Yes, there is a way to set your goals to make them, to your brain, psychologically more attainable. So when you set a goal, we're going to use what's called the SMART method. This is the criteria you should be using to set all of your goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I'm going to go through what each of those means. So for specific, I think that's pretty straightforward. You want to make your goal very specific. If it's too vague, this method doesn't really work. You want to make sure your goal is measurable. The reason being is because we need to be able to monitor progress of our goal. Make sure your goal is achievable to reasonably be able to complete that goal or accomplish that goal within a specific time frame. Relevance. You want to ask yourself, does this goal align with your values and your bigger picture vision for yourself? And then lastly, time-based. So you want to set a very realistic end date to your goal. There are two reasons why we want to do this. Number one, we want to make sure that we can schedule check-ins to measure progress for ourselves. And number two, we want to add a little bit of pressure. If we don't have a little bit of pressure or even a little bit of anxiety, we as humans are not moving or doing anything. Now that we've set our goal, we want to create the blueprint. We're going to be using the WOOP method to help us be proactive when it comes to reaching our goals. So the way we use this method is essentially you focus on a meaningful wish or a meaningful goal, and then you visualize the best possible outcome. This next part is probably the most important. You're going to identify every possible obstacle that could get in your way. And then lastly, for P, we are going to create a pretty concrete what if plan to overcome those obstacles if they arise. I do have a few notes on the WOOP method. So number one, whenever you visualize your best possible outcome, you need to do this pretty briefly. The point of this is to get a very quick glimpse at everything you can achieve if you truly put your mind to this. You're not meant to live in this manifestation or live in this fantasy. You're literally meant to step in, take a peek, and step out. And the reason I say this is because there's a good amount of research on manifestation and visualization with goal setting. And those who manifest and visualize accomplishing their goals do not nearly go as far as those who actually manifest and visualize themselves doing and taking the steps they need to take to accomplish their goal. Let's say if your goal is to get accepted into your dream school, your dream university, instead of just visualizing yourself getting accepted, I want you to visualize yourself busting your ass to get the grades you need to get accepted. I want you to visualize yourself writing the best possible essay you can write, the best possible personal statement you can write to get actually accepted into that school. All right, next thing, whenever you identify these obstacles, I want you to think of every possible thing that might deter you from reaching this goal. I don't care if it's your own laziness or if it's an actual physical mountain standing in between you and what you want to accomplish. It doesn't matter. You're going to write it down. Whatever it may be, whatever you can think of, you're going to write it down. And lastly, we're going to create our concrete what if plan. This is our blueprint. Once you take the time to come up with a solution or even two for each of those obstacles, there is no reason why you shouldn't reach your goal. Do you realize how much more achievable all of your goals can be if you have a what if manual to all the possible things that could get in your way of reaching your goal with the solutions to it before they come up? Okay, lastly, I do want to say a few things before you dive into your goal setting. No one is coming to tell you to get up and go to the gym. No one is coming to tell you to get up and go to work. No one is coming to hold your hand and help you study. It is you. It's literally just you. And sometimes that's our biggest threat, ourselves. You need to stick to the plan and not your mood. It is so easy to make excuses for ourselves. It is so easy to say, I don't feel like it, and just take a nap instead. But you need to keep your eye on the prize instead of constantly catering to your affect or your mood. Anyways, I just want to express how insanely grateful I am to every single one of you who have subscribed since I posted last Wednesday. Let me know if you end up using any of these goal setting methods, and also let me know if they work. Good luck to all of the ambitious goal setting baddies out there, and I will see you in my next video.